Number one, what I do is I weigh everything that goes in my backpack, and I mean everything, from your undies to your toothbrush, everything, because it's actually quite surprising how much things can weigh. I know this is crazy, but your underwear can be very different in weight. And when you think about, say, having 45 different items in your backpack, if you save 100 grams on every single one, you can start to weigh, 4.5 kilos less in your pack, and you're going to feel that. By weighing everything, it helps you make informed decisions. Should I spend $1,000 on a tent to drop 100 grams? And maybe that's not right for you. Maybe you're made of money, then go for it. Number two, the most important thing, I think, is take only what you need for that particular trip. Make sure you decant all your items. I never take a huge toothpaste. I always take those small ones, or better still, you can take the toothpaste tablets, which are even smaller. I used to take those big gas bottles on a, several night hike, and I thought I needed them, and I definitely didn't want to run out. But I did a hike, it was like 13, 14 days, and I used one gas canister. And that to me was mind-boggling, I guess, and realizing how little you often need on these trips. So every time you do a hike, come back and be like, I didn't use that much gas, or I didn't need that much toilet paper, or assess all the items that you have and make sure you're not over catering. The other part to only taking what you need is embrace the stink. When I hike, whether it's an overnight hike or a 20-day hike, I will take one set of clothes for dirty daytime use, and I'll have one set of clothes for warm, clean sleep. And so by not changing your pants and top every single day, you can save a heap of weight. And it's not that bad. Like, as long as you have your nice, dry, warm clothes for sleep that's safe, as soon as you throw on your pants the next day, yeah, they'll be a bit cold for a second. But honestly, if it's still raining, you're just going to get wet anyway. I take this same amount of gear on a 2-day hike as I would on a 4-week hike. All you need is a little bit more of the consumables like toothpaste, toilet paper, perhaps gas. Number 3 is to pack only to the location and conditions. So there is no point in taking a -8 rated bag when you're hiking on the coast in the middle of summer. You're going to be carrying like a 2-kilo bag or very heavy bag that is completely unnecessary for those conditions. The Bureau of Meteorology have climate statistics, and you can look at the coldest ever recorded temperature in the area that you're going to. And that for me is really powerful, because then you're like, hang on, the coldest ever recorded temperature is 3 degrees. And so you don't need that -600 sleeping bag. For example, this trip I'm on, I didn't bring my puff jacket because I realized that actually it's not going to get that cold tonight. I think 14 degrees. So I've got a nice warm jumper, and I've got my sleeping bag if it gets a little bit cold. And obviously be safe about it. Don't be crazy and then be sitting there freezing, because that's not fun. I know there is a temptation, and I did it myself. I bought gear that would suit every situation, and I very quickly upgraded. Instead of carrying 3 to 5 to 10 kilos extra, I would probably encourage you, if you're not doing some crazy ass trail that's the dead of winter, to think perhaps if you're just getting into hiking, go with the more, lightweight, less freezing cold stuff, because perhaps you don't need to hike at -6 degrees, and enjoy your hiking, enjoy the lightweight. I actually have 2 sets of gear. I have like a hardcore winter gear and then the sort of the more mild gear. Number 4 is repackage items. So I am a huge fan of Ziploc bags. I recycle them. I use them again and again, so I'm not just throwing them out. But I love them. I use them for my toiletries bag, my first aid kit. You can see into them. You can see exactly, that's the toiletries bag. There's my toothbrush. Another thing that I do is I take my sleeping bag, my mattress, everything you buy comes with a bag. And I actually rip all those bags, throw them out. I have one compression sack that I use that I put my air mattress, my sleeping bag, my dry warm sleep gear in. While you'll save a small amount on the bags, it's actually also really functionally useful, because you just, boom, here's my bed gear, bang, setup's easy. You're not stuffing everything into its own individual bag and then putting it in your bag. This is my sleep kit. Makes it simple, makes it lightweight. Number 5 is multi-use items can be brilliant, and they save you heaps of weight, because you're not taking a different item for each particular task. You're taking one that does multiple tasks. For example, I'll often take, say, like a sarong or a scarf, and that can be so many things. It can be a towel, it can be your mattress protector, it can be a sling, it can be a sunshade, it can be a cool wet blanket on a hot night. Number 6 is to carefully plan your food and repackage the items. So Often when I started hiking, I took way too much food. I remember one day, like, took all this food, hiked to this spot, and I even had like a pizza with me. And I'd eaten so much food on the trail, I just couldn't eat this pizza. And I was just like, oh, now I just hike this whole pizza back out. Every trip, assess what you have or haven't eaten. Get smarter about what you take with you. So you're not carrying a heap of stuff in, taking a heap of stuff out. But if I'm cooking something or bringing something, I'll often repackage the item. So I'll remove all the rubbish and just have it so simple and easy. So once again, Ziploc bag, put your cereal in there with the milk powder in there. So all you got to do in the morning is tip water in, shake it up and eat it. Or even the other night, I had a big cook up on the fire. It was a multi-part meal with onion, garlic, herbs and spices. What I did is I did it all at home in the comfort of my own kitchen. I can wash up, I can clean up, I put it all in a nice little plastic container. Then out here, there's not onion skins and this and that. I just flick it in, stir it up, and it's good to go. Number 7, I love water loading. Now, you got to be a bit careful about this because there's nothing worse than being short of water. It's very dangerous. But if you've done your research right, like today, I was really hydrated on the way out to the trail. And then I knew there was a creek about halfway along. So I stopped, had a good drink there, made sure I was really hydrated at the creek, drank all my leftover water, treated some more, and only took what I needed for tonight. And so you can be really smart about it, but you need to be smart and you need to do your research. The one last thing I say on water is I always leave a good couple of litres in my car because it's so nice to know, even if tomorrow there's no water, I've run out of water here for some reason, I'll hike out and I know there's water there and I can have that drink as soon as I get to the car. Number 8, be smart about what you buy. Sometimes you don't need to buy the latest and the greatest and the most expensive gear. I remember I started out with this tent, it cost me $100 and it weighed 2 kilos. So think about that as a comparison when you go to spend $700 on a tent here in Australia, 2-man tent, $700, and it weighs about 2 kilos. What is it that you're getting that $100 tent didn't have? Once you think about weight, function, and price, I think they're the big ones to think about, and make sure that you're not just throwing $700, $800, $1,000 on a tent that isn't really significantly helping, give you more function, more size, or less weight. Number 9, shoes. Now, I am a huge fan of trail runners. Some people swear by boots. I'll link in the description below to this article by this Australian hiker guy. He has just hiked every trail under the sun, and there's only like about, let's say, a very small handful of trails that he would recommend boots for. And I'm a huge fan of trail runners too. I love my ultras. They have revolutionized my hiking. There's this saying that a pound on the foot is worth 5 in the back, and I absolutely believe in that. I remember a while back, I was into trail runners, but I thought, I'll wear my hardcore Scarpas, they're cool boots. I had never been so tired on a trail, and it was absolutely because of the weight of those boots. A solid pair of hiking boots can weigh up to 1.5, 2 kilos. And going by that phrase, that's that's almost 10 kilos in your backpack. And you will feel that over the day. You'll drag your feet, you'll knock them into more rocks, you'll have more trip hazards. And I think having these light trail runners allows me to sort of skip along the trail and feel really not weighed down at all. The other thing, and this is going to be controversial, is that some people will say, you need the ankle support. And I think that is untrue. I think that most boots wouldn't actually provide enough ankle support. If you truly need ankle support, you're better off going to the chemist, and there is a myriad of ankle supports, braces, like full hardcore ones through to just small strapping ones, and you're better off putting that on your ankle than wearing a heavy boot that you drag and hit at every junction. I'm just so passionate about that because I guess I got sucked into that. I got sucked into the mentality of needing hardcore boots because I'm off track and I'm doing hardcore things. You can get waterproof trail runners, but I struggle with the balance of that because waterproof, then I feel like my feet sweat. There's definitely a trade-off, and it's education about the trail once again. So I love my ultras and I wear these normal ones on a trail like this when I think it's not going to be too swampy, but if it's going to be pretty swampy, I actually have a waterproof pair. Number 10, beware of hidden weight. And a big one here is your backpack. I have had backpacks in the past that weigh about 3 kilos on their own. So my standard hiking weight is about 7 kilos. So imagine if your backpack alone is 3 kilos. And it's just, as soon as you put one or two more items in there, you're jumping up to quite a significant weight. So be aware of those hidden weights in the shoes, in your backpack. It's really important. Thanks for watching, and cheers.